Hello, and welcome to Friday's episode of the Literary Lutheran Reads the Book of Concord. Today we will finish Article 10, Church Practices, from the Solid Declaration of the Formula of Concord, and we will begin Article 11, God's Eternal Foreknowledge and Election. Negative statements. 1. We reject and condemn as wrong when human rules in themselves are regarded as a service or part of God's service. 2. We also reject and condemn as wrong cases when these rules are forced on God's church as necessary by coercion. 3. We also reject and condemn as wrong the opinion of those who hold that during persecution we may comply with the enemies of the Holy Gospel, which leads to the detriment of the truth by restoring such adiaphora or come to an agreement with them. 4. We likewise regard it as a sin that deserves to be rebuked when during persecution anything is done that is contrary and opposed to the Christian confession. This includes indifferent matters or doctrine and what otherwise applies to religion for the sake of the enemies of the gospel in word and act. 5. We also reject and condemn abolishing these adiaphora as though the community of God, Latin, the churches of God, at any time and place in any land was not free to use one or more ceremonies in Christian liberty, according to its circumstances, as may be most useful to the church. So the churches will not condemn one another because of indifferences in ceremonies when, in Christian liberty, one has less or more of them. This applies as long as they are otherwise agreed with one another in the doctrine and all its articles, and also in the right use of the holy sacraments. This fits the well-known saying, disagreement in fasting does not destroy agreement in the faith. Article 11, God's Eternal Foreknowledge and Election. Preventing disagreement. Among the theologians of the Augsburg Confession, there has not yet arisen any public dispute at all about the eternal election of God's children that has caused offense and has become widespread. Yet this article has been brought into very painful controversy in other places. Even among our theologians there has been some agitation about it. Furthermore, the theologians do not always use the same expression. By the help of divine grace, we want to prevent disagreement and separation in the future among our successors on account of this teaching. Therefore, as much as in us lies, we want to present an explanation of this teaching here. Then everyone may know what our unanimous doctrine, faith, and confession is also on this article. For the teaching about this article, if taught from and according to the pattern of the divine word, neither can nor should be regarded as useless or unnecessary, much less as offensive or harmful. For the Holy Scriptures, not just in one place or randomly, but in many places, thoroughly discuss and explain this teaching. Furthermore, we should not neglect or reject the teaching of the divine word because of abuse or misunderstanding. But for that very reason, the true meaning should and must be explained from the foundation of the Scriptures in order to turn away all abuse and misunderstanding. The plain summary and substance of this article are presented in the following points. This has been the Literary Lutheran Reads the Book of Concord for Friday, and I wish you all a blessed weekend.